What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Harrison, and I did not think that I would be ending the week of the Switch 2 Direct in maybe disgust is a strong word, but definitely disappointing. And where I thought, you know, going into Monday and early morning Tuesday, I mean, I was so hyped. I was so excited to see what this thing could do, and I'm still excited, but the my excitement level has drastically gone down, and I believe that's probably going to be the case for a ton of people. And we'll get to the tariff stuff here in a moment, but I just want to talk about the actual reveal itself. They started off immediately showing off Mario Kart. This is the Mario Kart that I have always wanted. I did a video a few months ago talking about a way for the next Mario Kart to get me excited, and that was to have the traditional circuit stuff that they always have in the game, all the multiplayer stuff that they usually have, but have a free roam mode. And that's exactly what we are getting. I'm sure the world is going to be chock full of, you know, secrets and items to unlock and discover. And I'm very excited to dive into Mario Kart. And it looks fantastic. It looks really, really good. I am very impressed on what these games look like currently on the Switch 2. And it looks really, really well and really, really good in handheld as well. So very excited for the system itself. Um, the rest of the direct, get it like seeing Donkey Kong Bonanza was awesome. That game looks like the 3D Mario, the Mario Odyssey for Donkey Kong that we're finally getting. It's been rumored for so long. That game looks incredible. Watching it on the Treehouse, getting a deeper look at it was also awesome. The game just looks really, really good, right? Getting Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom look so good now. Smooth, 60 frames per second, all that stuff looks really, really good. Um, but the direct itself, some like all the chat stuff, very, very gimmicky, very Nintendo. They're always going to put their twist on something that's been available to people for 20 years. Finally, Discord, but it's kind of built into the system, which is cool. Um, how much I'm going to use that feature, I don't know. But it's cool that it's there. It's cool that they have a separate camera for it, and it's also very awesome of them to allow other third-party USB-C cameras to work as well. That's really, really cool. So if you already have one, you don't have to spend the $50 to get their camera. Um, the messaging around like the game sharing stuff, the messaging around that is a little bit confusing because they all before last week on the final Switch One Direct or whatever you want to call it, they showed off like the game card thing, and then there's game where you could lend games to family and friends for 2 weeks. Now there's game sharing. It's just very confusing, and if I'm confused for someone who is well versed in Nintendo and just gaming in general, if I'm confused, the general public is going to be extremely confused as well, which is definitely concerning. It's not like an in like you know Switch 2 people are going to buy it, but that feature it is very confusing. Also, the upgrade path. Yes, we know that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are included in an NSO, which is awesome. Can't wait to play those, day one and try those out. Well, maybe not day one anymore, but can't wait to try those out eventually. Um, they didn't. They showed off, the Mario Party Jamboree, the Kirby, the Forgotten Land stuff, and how you can upgrade those games. They didn't mention if that was included in NSO or not. They just showed what they were, and then that was it. They could have easily said, "Hey, these are not included in NSO. You do have to, if you already have the game, you have to purchase it, the upgrade for a certain amount." And we thought that was going to be the case. That's what PlayStation did. For their games that they allowed people to upgrade. It was like a $10, fee, and then you got the PS5 version. Nintendo didn't talk about pricing at all in this presentation, which I really I really hate when developers, gaming companies do not relay their price information, especially if we got it 10 seconds after the event ended. The press kit went, the press information went out to everybody, and we knew what the price was going to be, 10 minutes after this thing was done. So all all the hype that Nintendo got from that, they gave us a reveal date, but they didn't give us a price. Why not put the price in there? Why not make Nintendo's I don't know, relay of information has not been the greatest in the world. Their marketing has been confusing. The pricing of their games has also been extremely confusing and all over the place. I mean, we look at something like Metro Prime Remastered, that's 40, but then you have, you know, Luigi's Mansion 2, that's 60, and then Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door is 60. So like their stuff is just kind of all over the place. That's fine or whatever. I guess you have to look at what you think could potentially sell, and selling Metro Prime Remastered at 60, that's probably not going to get a lot of people to bite. But you put it at 40, you're going to get more eyes on it, and then get ready for Metro Prime 4. So maybe that's how they look at it, and that's probably how they do. But again, that stuff is just kind of all over the place. And then we don't learn about any of the pricing of the controller, the system itself, which I'm not mad about the price of the system. I think 450 is fair for what it is. We're getting a really great powered handheld that is very comparable to what's on the market now, which is awesome, and it's undercuts all of those other devices. It's a lot cheaper than those are. But then the games, like we still don't really know what the pricing of these games are. Mario Kart's $80, but Donkey Kong is 70. Why is there a difference? Is the physical going to be $10 more? Some people were reporting that physical was going to be 90 for Mario Kart, and 80 for, so everything is all over the place, and I think Nintendo really needs to bite down and just control the narrative, and they just don't do that. They put the information out there that it is what it is, and they don't talk about why they're pricing it this way. Are you pricing this way because you were trying to get ahead of the tariffs, knowing there was going to be an increase in products going into the United States? But then we look at, other territories, and the prices increased in those, but the current tariff stuff isn't impacting those territories. So why is there an increase in the pricing is just all over the place. It's very, very confusing. So I don't love that, and I don't know if I want to spend $20. And again, this is all consumerism. Like, you don't have to vote with your wallet, but like $20 for the upgrade for Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I don't want to pay $80. Like, if I was a new consumer, I don't want to pay $80 for Kirby. I'm just not going to do that, right? And then Tears of the Kingdom is 80. Breath of the Wild is 7. So the pricing is just all over the place. It is extremely confusing, and I think a lot of people just want answers. It doesn't help during both Treehouse Live events, everyone in the chat was spamming drop the price. That is not a good look for just the price in general. And I don't know, $80 for a video game is a lot to ask for a majority of people, especially when everything else, and then especially I live here in the United States, everything else is increased in price, and now gaming is also. I mean, gaming is a very expensive hobby. I do know that, and we've been very fortunate that the prices have been pretty stagnant for 20 years now, ever since the 360 came out. And it just now increased to 70, back in 2020. So we've been very fortunate with the pricing of games, but now here we are in the 10th generation with Nintendo and the Switch 2, and they're opting for the $80 price tag. PlayStation, Xbox, and all the other developers and publishers are going to go for that new price. And that's very, very concerning for a consumer like me that wants to try to play everything, because I love gaming, and I have a podcast that we talk about every week. And it's just frustrating, and again, we were thinking, okay, maybe Nintendo is just trying to get ahead of the curve with these tariffs that are going on. And, we know that the manufacturing is in Vietnam, and now with the tariff information out today, Vietnam had a huge increase, like one of the most expensive tariff increases, or what. I'm not an economist. I don't know everything about tariffs and what they do, but I know enough, I guess, or at least a decent amount. But Vietnam was hit pretty hard, is what basically what I'm saying. So, and that's where they're manufacturing the Switch 2s. So Nintendo has came out and said they are pausing or delaying the pre-order date for April 9th, specifically in the US, I believe. I'm not sure about the other territories, to be honest, but at least in the US, have not delayed the system itself. But this has to be very concerning for Nintendo. I mean, United States is a pretty, I mean, that's one of their biggest markets, and I'm sorry if the Switch 2 cost is $600. I think I'm out, and I'm a diehard Nintendo fan and a diehard gamer. But I can't see myself. $500 for a console is about as much as I am willing to spend, and I was already gonna pay for the the Switch 2 with the Mario Kart bundle and kind of eat that so I could save $30 on Mario Kart. But anything more than 500, I don't want to do it. I honestly I don't want to spend more than 500, and I have a feeling it's going to go up. As of right now, I mean, we may get more information later. Other countries could change their guidelines, and then the tariffs that the Trump administration has done, they'll take them away, and then everything will be hopefully be good again or fine or whatever. But as of right now, like I foresee the Switch 2 being $600, and then like that's just by itself, no bundle. And I just don't think most Americans can swing that kind of money for a Switch 2, and it's gonna dramatically. I mean, the Switch 2 is still gonna sell a lot because it's the Switch 2, and a lot of people are hyped. But the normal families out there with a kid, like no one with like a 10-year-old is gonna buy their kid a $650 system. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. So that's very and that was before the tariffs, but obviously the and again I was fine with the price, the 450, 500 price, but the video game prices being 80, it's not a trend. It's not a trend that I want to happen. It's very frustrating. Again, I didn't expect to end the week with being pretty down on Nintendo and just kind of gaming in general at the moment. So I think I've covered everything. But I mean, like yesterday before the tariff information came out, and like everyone in the Nintendo's YouTube chat was spamming drop the price, and that was strictly related to the games itself. I don't think anybody has a problem with the price of the console itself. It's the games, $80, $90 for physical, but we don't know if that's the actual case. It's confusing. So I don't like to be negative on this channel. I really don't. I had have a video talking about that a few days ago. But this is very concerning, not only for Nintendo, because, Nintendo's got to make money. I get that. And if they've got to increase the price of their console, I also understand that. But I'm probably going to be out on it for a while. But it's very concerning for the rest of the industry, too. Because who knows who's going to follow suit. Is PlayStation, Xbox going to have a price increase because of we just don't know. And that's very, very, very concerning for an already an already expensive hobby. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. We're not gonna get. I don't want to hear anything political in the comments. I know this is political. And it's it sucks that politics and stuff like this has entered gaming. But we kind of knew it was coming for a while now. But so let me just hear your concerns and your thoughts. I don't want to hear anything too political in the comments. I'm not going to say I don't want to hear anything, but if we start whatever. I hate politics. So let me know in the comments what you guys think. And like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would definitely appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Disastrous week for Nintendo. Just couldn't have gone any worse. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. Consider subscribing to the channel. I'll let YouTube algorithm pick one of my videos below for you guys to watch. Give it a click, and I hope you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video.